Now, like you asked me the question you asked me before.
Okay, I said, I teased the audience, 888-957-9570. Did watching Stephen Curry's performance yesterday shift at all what you think this team is capable of in this final stretch here heading into the play-in? Did that shift at all what you think that this team could do? Meaning, if you're skeptical on Steph and, you know, maybe he's going to take a while to find his shot and his shot looked pretty good yesterday. Hey, you know what? If him and Kristaps can get on the same page this week, maybe they could do something. And when I say something, as you just mentioned, can you win 2 games against the Thunder? 2. Can you win 2 against them? I know it's laughing. No, but that's where we are, Joe. Not just 1. Can you win 2 games against the Oklahoma City Thunder?
They want me to come on and like this, and I love Goo. I love Goo, and I'm not going to take away.
Don't crush that guy.
I'm not going to take away his his hope. But like I can hear, if I was doing the Guru, it would be. Now I can hear myself.
Shout out, Bob.
Steph Curry, you got a chance. You got a chance to do something special. You got a chance to do something magical. I'm a little more reasonable than that, and I think me coming out and saying like they got a chance, they could do this. Yeah, I have a chance of winning Powerball. Probably not going to win Powerball. Will they be an easy out? Will it be tough matchup? Yeah, I can make an argument for all those things. But what does my eyeballs tell me? You're probably 5 games and done against OKC if things break your way and you win a couple play-ins. But I don't think that makes compelling radio to talk about. But I also have to be like fair to myself. No, I don't think this team is capable of doing anything. No, in fact, I think him being as magical as he was last night for all of those 2 playing games and let's say 4 or 5 games, maybe 6 games of an OKC series. Yeah, that's a tough task.
It does make me feel better about playing though. Like I do feel better about their chances beating a team like Portland or the Clippers, specifically the Clippers. And in a weird way, I know the Clippers have had their number, winning 9 of the last 10. I'd actually rather play the Clippers because...
But they've had the number of the Warriors.
Well, so I just said, they've won 9 of the last 10. The Blazers, I just think their size and speed is just going to cause fits. I do.
But remember the last time the Clippers played the Warriors, they were a lot younger because they made a bunch of trades, and they ran the Warriors out of the gym.
I know.
So like, Joe, like my
Was that with Steph, though?
No, that wasn't. No, Steph didn't play
Steph wasn't in that game.
But that was the first game or second game after the break. But Joe, like I have to be real to myself, and like when I'm being real with myself, like I love Steph. He's one of my favorite players in any sport ever. It's for most people. Guys, we need the young player. We need to pick. Like I'm not just a Steph fan. I'm also a diehard Warrior fan, and like. As much as it pains me at the end of his career to admit this out loud, like I want a young player on this team to play alongside Steph Curry next year and beyond. And you know what that young player might do? This is something really nobody brings up. Maybe it's the fountain of youth that prolongs his career, so it doesn't just end.
Well, that's what I've been saying. It's the young pup analogy. I've been using that. If they get one of these guys, it's like, hey, maybe that keeps Steph here a couple more years than he normally wouldn't stay here.
And maybe that guy isn't a superstar, but just a really good rotation role player right away. And maybe down the line, years from now, he could be one of your pillars. But like Joe, how are they going to get this done? Like next year, right? Like big picture, with Gee, Porzingis, Melton's gone.
I like Gee. He had a tough game yesterday, but I don't hate that contract. I like Gee as a player.
He's a top 8 rotational player.
Correct. Right? So that's starting somewhere. Okay,
but they need starters.
They do. You got one of
Joe, they need starters.
Porzingis is a starter. Okay, we got Kristaps.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, but that you're also predicated on bringing him back.
Yes, and which. By accounts, by reports, it looks like there's mutual interest there.
I want him back.
Yes.
But there's also, not only is he's a starter now, there's also the question of, well, then when's he going to go down?
Yeah.
Because the back of his card is not very...
well, that's a risk they're willing to take if you bring him back. Okay. That's a risk they're willing to take.
So is Draymond a starter next year?
We'll see. Is Draymond on the team next year? Is that even locked?
The media propaganda has already started. What do you mean? He really wants to help the team out by opting out and getting a 2-year deal.
That's a team player right there. Free up some cap space. Good for Draymond. Good for him. I want him to help out this team in any way possible. And if he could do that by spreading out that salary, good for him. Aren't you happy about that?
I like lying to myself too.
I'm not lying.
No.
Isn't he helping out the cap structure doing that? Re-signing?
Okay, so him getting more years and being more indebted to Draymond is going to help. Come on, man. Come on.
What? No, what if he re-signs a 1-1?
Uh-huh.
Free up some cap space.
What, a couple million? What's that going to get them? They're over the cap
Maybe
as it is time.
Maybe LeBron, who looked pretty good yesterday.
Okay. So you're signing up for more years on Draymond Green, who's already really old. I'm not saying he can't be a useful player, but the way that this structure is set up, it's impossible to envision Draymond Green on the team in a reduced role. I think that's a fair thing to say. It's like having Frank Gore. He's not going to be the 2 to Carlos Hyde. He's just not. It's the analogy I've used forever.
510, KP is not a starter anymore. The Warriors need 4 starters. On this team, he's a starter.
No, but that's how dire the situation is, which I keep coming back to. This is why I want to pick.
510. Joe, come on now. Goose stays selling Wolf tickets. What does that mean?
No, I'm not mad at Goo, because that's a lot of people feel that way. With Steph Curry, you have a chance, and I hear them. But that's also like saying, buy the lottery ticket. And I'm just a little more reasonable. If we're going to go hey, you have a chance. Well, you also have a chance to get the number 1 pick. If you're going to play those games, if you want to go odds on me and you want to go percentages, you have an equal amount of percentage of being a 1, 2, or 3 pick as you do of playing 6 games against OKC. If you're asking me.
Don't go at my guy Goo like that. I got his back.
I wasn't going
No. I'm not saying you. I'm saying 510. Don't you be saying that.
Okay, so Will Richard, we all like him. Is Will Richard a starter?
No.
All right. Pajemski, in an ideal world, is he a starter?
No.
All right. Gee, is he a starter in an ideal world?
No. How about use this? Are any of these guys you're mentioning going to start on the Rockets right now?
No.
So there you go. No.
So now I come back and I was like, you can make the Kawhi acquisition all you want. I would love to do that. I would love to get LeBron James. At this point, sure, let's do it. They still need another young, stud.
Yeah.
And what have they been doing? They've been looking for the straight up Clay replacement for 6 years now. And they don't have that big shooting guard or big wing who could defend opposite Curry.
And those guys are hard to find.
They are.
Yeah, they're hard to find.
But Joe, they've been searching for that. They were hoping Moody might turn into that. They were hoping Kuminga might. Those guys aren't that. They're just not. And so they need that. And so you're asking about this year. It's really hard for me to focus on this year without thinking also about next year, because there's only 1 year left on a lot of these guys on the deals. I'm having a tough time with this team. Just talking about this team.
510. If the Warriors flip this pick for an old player, they are stupid AF. They need to start building for the future.
I was listening to other people well, you got to flip the pick. I am so out on flipping the pick and doubling. You doubled down on old this year. And where are you? With a healthy Jimmy and with a healthy Steph, when you doubled down on old, where were you prior to their injuries?
You were a couple games over 500.
You were about where you are right now,
Correct.
Which is in the play-in, right? And I think we've all agreed, for everyone, it's probably not good enough.
925.
So
Steph's return just highlighted the Warriors' glaring weaknesses. The rest of the roster is average. There are a bunch of 7 to 10 guys on the roster, and that's including Draymond. Hopefully, that new superstar is incoming this summer. Yeah, but the version of said superstar you're getting is going to be flawed or older. And maybe...
Well, they're in such a tough position, you're going to take that.
No,
I will take that. They're in such a tough... But simultaneously, trade future picks. If you get into the top, whatever, trade future picks and keep this one.
Hey, Steph, do you consider this meaningful basketball? And I say that because that was the phrase and term that Steph has been uttering for a long time. All he wants is a chance to play meaningful basketball. This is what he had to say.
We're building towards it. We have 2 meaningful games, hopefully, down the stretch. But this is meaningful basketball in the sense of preparing ourselves for that moment. It's not like we can just sleepwalk through these last 4 games and not focus on details that'll help us win a do-or-die game and then do it again. So, yes. You can kind of feel it in the arena, too. There's a different vibe tonight.
So he considers...
that I agree with at the end.
Yes.
The energy felt different.
And shout out Noah Eagle, who's on the call for NBC, the national broadcast. He's incredible. He just gets it. Him and Steph kind of tied at the hip since the Golden Dagger thing, doing a hell of a job there. But no, he said, hey, those playing games is meaningful to him. Might not be for all Warriors fans, but for Steph, they're meaningful. How meaningful is it going to be, if they win in advance? I think we'll talk ourselves into something happening because that's what we do as fans. Well, oh, wow, they beat the Clippers. No one thought we were going to do that. Oh, they beat the Suns. No one thought we were going to do that. Okay. All right. Well, all right. No one's going to believe in us. So it's us against the world, against the Thunder. And wouldn't it be something if Steph goes off and you steal maybe a game or two? Wow, that would be incredible. I know the cynics, the older fans might scoff at it. A lot of the fans might take that at this point, given how the season's gone. And I know heading into it, you had, the delusions of grandeur for some that maybe they can get into the conference finals. Because they
all was with a fully healthy team across the board.
Exactly. So that consolation of just being one and done in the playoffs, from that perspective, I get. But at this point, if you're all in on Steph, that's all you want to see. It's just Steph. Don't get hurt. Go off. Let's see what happens.
So a slightly better version of the final years of Bonds? Is that
No, seriously, though. Like this season, yes. For this season, yeah. Once Jimmy got hurt, expectations shifted. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Once Jimmy... Yeah. No, I have to say that because some people don't agree. If you have Steph, that automatically means you're a championship contender. Not at this level anymore. Maybe once upon a time, sure. We could have seen something special, but something special now is just winning a game or two against the Thunder team that's primed to go back-to-back.
Steph's amazing. We love him. I mean, his unanimous MVP season was 10 years ago.
God, that's crazy.
10 years ago. That doesn't mean he's not still amazing and great. When was the last time he finished 1 or 2 in an MVP or 3 in MVP voting?
That's a good question.
So, look, he's amazing. He's one of one. He's one of the greatest shows in sports. But we'll have to be realistic in terms of where the league's at and then where he's at in comparison to the rest. He's still amazing, but
I found it. Top 3 in MVP voting, 2020, 2021. He was the third. He finished
6 years ago.
6 years. Yeah, 6 years ago. Since then, top 8, top 9 last year.
Which is remarkable.
Yeah.
But,
Steph, on the rust factor.
It's not as much rust as it's the endurance. Honestly, you kind of picking and choosing a little bit of your spots to maintain. It's not like you're going 100 miles an hour the whole time and just feeling it out. But yeah, after I traveled and got my shot blocked the first 2 possessions, I kind of settled in nice. You do all the training and scrimmages and all that type stuff. It's more just getting back familiar with the speed of the game, the physicality, and just embracing it. And that's how the game kind of unfolded for me.
A cool element of last night's game, and we kind of mentioned it, and we're so focused on just Steph's return, but the fact that he did get to play with his brother for the first time
it's cool.
in a regular NBA game, regular season, it's pretty freaking special. The first pair of brothers to play in the same game for the Warriors franchise. They had not been on the court on the same team at the same time since the 2013 preseason for Golden State, and prior to that, in high school, Joe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Steph and Seth got to share the court. And they turned it over immediately, by the way, when they did that. Which was pretty funny.
Michelle was asking me just basic sports questions last night. It was pretty funny, actually.
Oh, nice. Did you have a good Easter?
Yeah, we did.
Nice. What did you guys have for food? Did you guys go out?
We did the buffet.
Buffet, nice.
It was incredible, yeah.
They
do a thing at the Olympic Club.
Oh,
you get a table.
there it is. Okay,
really
the Olympic
nice,
Club.
yeah.
I saw your sweatshirt too.
Yeah,
There
make
you
you
go.
omelet or whatever you want.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oysters.
Oh, just keep going. Yeah, what else?
Ahi tuna.
Fresh squeezed orange juice, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay, yeah. Nice coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
They brought the coffee beans to you.
Wow.
Actually.
That's nice. They grinded them.
Yeah. They did a little Easter egg hunt.
Oh, that's cool.
I saw a glimpse of my wife's competitiveness where she was yelling at my son to get more Easter eggs. I go, this is what sports is going to be like. If a little boy knocks my kid over in sports, my wife will run onto the floor and stab that little boy.
Are you going to
see it coming?
Are you going to have to tell Michelle that she has to stay home sometimes? Is that what this is going to lead to?
Well, having been involved in so many games as a coach, I understand how to stay calm now. At one point in my life, I didn't. But Michelle she's gonna be the worst. But
Easter egg hunts are vicious, low key, because you get those 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, and then you get the tweeners. You're too old to be doing an Easter egg hunt. 11, 12, 13. It's hey, let the 2 and 3 and 4-year-olds do it.
Well,
okay,
they broke it down 5 and under, and then everyone else.
Okay, that's nice.
Bad, dude.
That's good.
So she's just peppering me with questions at the end, and these were just again. Not a diehard Warrior fan in the sense of tapped in. And how you fan is how you fan. I've said this a million times. You want to be I'm in here for just the entertainment. I get it. I'm here just for the championships. I get it. I'm here just for, Steph Curry. I get it. Whatever your algorithm is, I don't want to.
I'm here for the competition.
What?
The competition. The love of the game.
So Michelle asked me straight up, oh, so is this just about Steph doing what Steph wants and everyone's just going to bow to him? I go, not really. She's like, well, then why is his brother on the team?
I'm just going to do what Steph wants me to do now.
Well, because, like they need shooting and, he's good enough. She's like, yeah, but they're all so short. This is my wife. They don't have any big players. They have no tall guys. Look at the Rockets. Look how tall they are. I go, yeah, but, she goes, well, where'd Kuminga go? I go, well, he's not that good. And, they got Kristaps Porzingis for him. And she's like, yeah, but he's always hurt, right? I'm like, yeah, he's always hurt. All right, so why is Draymond still on the team? Well, because he's good with Steph out there. Okay, again, because you're doing what Steph wants, so that's why Draymond's on the team. She kept going back and back. So she's basically saying, like, how is this any different from the end of Kobe Bryant or the end of Barry Bonds? I'm like, well, because we're kind of pretending that we're competing. Like, I was explaining this to her, like, and I'm answering my own questions, and it was just kind of ridiculous, the amount of, like, gymnastics, the mental gymnastics I had to do to justify why the team is put together the way the team is put together. And I was like, well, but you got to understand, Michelle, they went after Jimmy Butler because they tried to win now. But isn't he old? I'm like, yeah, he's old. Well, where's he at? Well, he's hurt. Well, some old guys get hurt. And I'm like, well, yeah, Steiny, I get that.
That's pretty good. By the way, heading into the season, I'm just looking at an article that was written before the season started. It was shortest and tallest NBA teams heading into 2025, 2026. The shortest team heading into the season was the Golden State Warriors.
Well, we knew that.
We knew that.
The shortest and the second oldest.
But I think you'd be surprised with, if you look at the list of like tied for like fourth shortest, it's the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, but their height is across the board.
It's tricky. It's not.
Because Şengün's not a traditional center.
No.
He's actually one of the shortest players on the floor.
But he plays bigger than
100%.
that. Yeah, he's big.
Just like Draymond, although he's not a traditional big, plays bigger than a traditional
correct. Big. And the wear and tear for those guys is a lot more significant. This hour is brought to you by Front Bank, here for you, here for good. Stephen Curry making his debut, not debut, but debut since his injury 2 months ago from runner's knee. Plays well. So, Warriors come up short.
Getting back to the Michelle conversation last night, it felt like I was explaining to her things that she thought were ridiculous justifications to just put on a circus so that we could pretend like we're competing. That's the way she interpreted it. Like everything that the Warriors are doing is like fake competition. And she's like, well, this is really all about like appeasing their egos then at this point. I'm like, no, like they really do think they can compete. You know what I mean? And like, I kind of get lulled into thinking that they can compete as well. And she's like, no, they cannot. She's like, look how young all these guys are around Kevin Durant. How old's that guy? I go, well, he's 22. Yeah. Well, how old's that guy? Well, he's 23. And she's like, well, Şengün's got to be, what's he, 30? I go, no, he's 23 too.
They're all young.
She's like, well, Reed Shepherd looks 14.
Yeah, right? That's true.
And
he is actually, yeah.
And then she's looking at who we're playing. She's like, who's that guy? And I go, Bassey? She's like, yeah, he's actually good. I go, well, I don't know how old he is. Actually, I don't even know who he is.
I don't know who he is.
And she goes, well, he's bald, but is he under 30? And I was like, I don't know. Let me look him up. Oh, he's 25.
He's got the bald braids. I love it. Yeah, he's 25, 6'10", 230 out of Western Kentucky.
And then at one point, at the end of the game, 6 minutes to go, and we're lying there on the couch, and Steph's going to check in, and Draymond's going to check in. And then all the Rockets are ready, and the Rockets are ripping off their warm-ups, and they're like, doing a jog. And it pans over to Draymond and Steph, and they've got the double ice knee pack wraps. And she's like, look at this. And I go, yeah, you're kind of right. And like I felt ridiculous trying to explain to her the conundrum the Warriors are currently in.
It's like the Kobe and Ben Roethlisberger memes where they have ice packs on every single part of their body.
So then she's like, well, what about that guy? Talking about pods.
Yeah.
She's like, the hair guy. And I go, well, he's good, but the fans don't think he's any good, but he's not that good, but he's also like kind of like hated by a big segment of the fan base. She's like, well, why is he hated? I'm like, I don't know, because he plays hard.
Because he plays hard and he plays in every game.
And she's like, well, is he having a good game? And I'm like, yeah, he's having a good game tonight. She's like, well, does anyone? I'm like, no, actually, everyone boos him. And she just can't understand. She's like, well, what will make Warrior fans happy? I'm like, I'm not really sure.
You know, it would have been really funny if Steph had passed to Pods, who was kind of open, and just had Pods hit the shot. Hey, Steph deferring to Pods. Maybe that will make all the Steph fans and Warriors fans back off Pajemski a little bit. Our two biggest posts at this station, as far as like views and clicks and interactions, was literally Evan defending Pods for getting booed and me saying, Can we just back off of him a little bit?
It's
How dare we defend Brandon Podziemski a little bit? Because people are going, where was that defense of Jonathan Kuminga? Oh, I don't know. I just work with one of his biggest fans at the station.
people want Michelle on the air.
I do.
Mondays with Michelle.
Well, we used to get her on. Remember that once upon a time?
Her big thing is she's got a lot of Steiny in her. She's like, old players are old. I'm like, yeah, Michelle, old players are old.
Michelle's a ball breaker. She was on fire at Langford's wedding last year, just ripping you the entire time.
She's watched a lot of sports over the years, but she's not like in on the day to day. But when she's watching, she's always like, well, Kevin Durant's super old, but look at all the young guys around him. And I'm like, that's actually a really good point. That's how I came up with the whole thing for the day. Yeah. And I'm like, that's actually a really, really good point. She's like, well, look at all the old guys around Steph. You guys want him to be good. She's like, GP2 was like a fringe player 6 years ago.
God, can you imagine if they got a top 4 pick?
And he's one of their best players.
Can you imagine if they got like a Cam Boozer or a Debanza somehow? Can you imagine that?
Youth for what they need.
That gives me more hope, Joe, for the franchise than getting a guy like Giannis or Kawhi.
So
is getting a top 4
Let's say you did get Kawhi. Let's just say.
I know it's a long shot.
No, but let's say you do get Kawhi, but for future picks or something like that, and you do get one of these top 3, you get Debanza or you get.
Oh, you get both in this scenario,
right? Let's say you get one or the other, right? And you move future picks, not this year's pick, but future picks, right? Like you'd be glued to the television every single game. So you have the now, which is the team that you're trying to like win some games now with, and then you're like the development of a young player dropped into that situation. Not 4 young players, 1 young player. I think the big mistake that the Warriors did during the 2021 through the Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody is too many young players. Pick 1 if you're going to have this many old guys, not 3 or 4. 1.
I just thought of in my head, you mentioned Steiny, and I just hear his voice. Like, can you imagine if they were like doing like the Kobe stuff late, and it's a retirement tour for Steph, and the giveaway is who wants to go to a Stephen Curry game? Like that's
who wants to.
Like that's exactly what I was thinking. Like. Because that's what it turned into towards the end of Kobe. It was like, let's go see Kobe one more time. That was it. You knew they weren't going to win any games. It was just to see him.
It just feels like the last 4 or 5 years, the Warriors have had a lot of really solid role players. And the problem is that you need dudes, right? And so Steph's clearly like A1 dude. You know what I mean? Like A1, top of the charts when he's out there. He needs a running mate.
Yeah.
And Dre hasn't been a dude like that on both ends of the floor for a while, which is fine. Like he can still be a really, really, really good player and a really good role. And they have like GP2's a really fine role player, and Pod's a fine role player, and Guy's a fine role player. But you need pillars.
Well, and you had your running mate, and again, I know you didn't mention it on purpose, but they had that running mate, Jimmy Butler, and he got hurt. And he got hurt because that's what happens when guys are older.
But Joe, he might not have been a good enough dude in this scenario to navigate the regular season and the playoffs.
Well, it's a good point. And also, and sometimes that happens even when they're young. Like,
look right now. Austin Reeves, Luka, they all went down. Who's the healthy guy? The guy who missed the first couple months of the season in LeBron.
LeBron, the 41-year-old. There's your done.
It's random.
It's cruel sometimes too. And Warriors fans are actually in a position to still get a lottery pick. Lakers ain't getting a lottery pick. It's too late. They've won too many games. They're going to be a playoff team.
If I I'm seeing the rhetoric. Potts is a good role player. People are like, nope, not good at all. It's like, come on, guys. We got to have some nuance here. We got to have a little bit of nuance. I saw it with Jeff Garcia.
Potts is playing for the Rockets instead of a guy like Reed Shepherd. I'm convinced. I am.
I actually think he'd be good with them as a point guard.
I actually think so too.
I agree with that. He'd fit in. They were taking turns bringing the ball up the floor and acting as the point guard to initiate offense. Amen Thompson, KD. Yeah. Şengün is kind of their like point forward center dude, top of the key. They're a very interesting team, but I don't think they're a champion.
I think Ime Udoka could actually be a good coach for Pods in that regard because I think
he'd rein him in.
I think he would get him to play like good defense. Yeah. I think he could.